Hi, this is Dr. Drew Cuffo from Invictus Chiropractic in Centennial, Colorado. Are your hamstrings always tight? Are you just trying to stretch and stretch and stretch and just nothing happens? These 4 exercises could be the solution for you, all right? The first one requires a wedge. So if you just can't quite get there, try this out. Stand with your heels up on a wedge so it gives you a little bit of extra room in your hamstrings. Come down, do a nice and gentle toe touch, come up, repeat 5 times. Step off the wedge, touch your toes again if you can without forcing anything. You should have a nice gentle stretch. Again, 5 reps. Turn around with your toes elevated. This will be much more difficult. We're already having a little bit of stretch in your calves and the hamstrings, just a little bit. So don't expect a full range of motion here if you're already limited. But try 5 more, again, touching your toes. Coming up, 5 reps, and finally stepping off the wedge one last time, 5 more for a total of 20 reps. Again, that's 5 with your heels elevated, 5 flat, 5 with your toes elevated, 5 flat. Another common thing that happens when people are stretching and aren't seeing results is they're not stretching with any sort of a load involved as well. So if we do something like yoga where we stretch and stretch and stretch, we have to actually add some sort of activation or load to that new position in order to make it a little bit more permanent. Here's one way I love to teach that here. Lay on your back, using a door frame in your house. You're going to put your foot up on the wall. Ideally, your hip and your heel will be at the same length. Now, if your hamstrings are super tight, you will not be able to get here. So just scoot back until you can maintain your toes back and your knees straight. From here, brace your core, press your low back into the floor and your heel into the wall. Take your other leg, slowly raise it up, come down, tap, and repeat. Try 10 reps each side, and the idea here is we are stretching the hamstring while having an activation here. So it's all on stretch, but I'm still actively pushing into the wall and adding a little bit more from this one coming up as well. Do 10, then just slide over and repeat on the other side. Another very common issue in the hamstrings that can present or pretend to be hamstring tightness is actually neurological tightness. So the sciatic nerve comes out of a whole bunch of areas in your low back, combines into one big nerve the size of your thumb, and goes all the way down your hamstring, splits, and goes into your toes. Now, sometimes if you have had a low back injury a long time ago, that nerve can still be kind of stuck, for lack of better terms. So your body or your brain tries to protect the area by making the hamstrings go, "Bah," and grab it down. Here's a great way to improve that. I call it sciatic nerve flossing. So the idea here is your nerves are like one long continuous piece, going from your toe all the way up to your head. So if I extend my heel out this way, you can see it puts the leg portion on stretch. If I come up this way, it will shorten this side. If I bring my head down and shorten here, but it will extend this way, like so. So the idea is to take one end and bring it tense while taking the other end of that nerve and give some slack. So it will look like this. You're going to look up and extend your low back and bring your foot up, toes up, come down, round, tuck your chin, and tuck your heels. Like so. Move slow, do not go fast, and make sure you are doing opposites. You don't want to tense both ends at the same time. That will not feel so good. If you have pain going down the leg while doing this, stop. Finally, to add a bit more load to the stretched hamstrings, we do the hip hinge. Now there's many ways to teach and learn this, so do whatever works best for you and stay tuned for a video on that later. But you can take a PVC pipe, a broomstick, or a barbell, holding it at your hips or at your starting here actually on your back. 3 points of contact are the top of your butt, between your shoulders and back of your head. With soft knees, bringing the hips back, until you feel a stretch in the hamstrings. For most people, it's about 45 degrees. And bring it back up. Now, the reason we have the pipe on our back is that if we round our back, those 3 points of contact will now be just one, or it will change. So pushing your hips back, rotating about your hips, boom, bring it up. And then once you get good at that motion, take a barbell or a kettlebell or some dumbbells, hold them in your hands, and do the exact same thing, going up and down as well. You can add a pause to really feel that good hamstring tension before returning to your standing position. Start light, go slow, and you'll realize that this is a Romanian deadlift or the top half of a more conventional barbell deadlift. Give that a try.